This is me, I'm talking. This is me, Ryan. Laura.
This is me, Laura, and I'm talking at Christmas party.
Renee.
This is me, Renee. I'm talking.
Katie?
It feels weird.
This is Katie at a Christmas party.
Tighe.
This is Tighe at a Christmas party.
Josh.
Fuck your Christmas party. I'm not going to that.
Yay, good, it works.
Well, hello there. Welcome to On the Beat, the podcast that uncovers full frontal male nudity in cinema. My name is Laura, and holy guacamole, you guys. We have so many people in this room right now because it's a Christmas party. It's a holiday party. Hi, Ryan.
Hello, there's too many people in this room.
It's warm in here.
Yeah, it's a little sweaty.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
We have returning guests here today. We're going to do this from the other side of the table that no one can see because this is an audio podcast. We have Josh here for... How many times have you been here, Josh? Like 4 or 5?
1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You need to get more friends or something.
This is true. We'll take that into consideration. And then we also have Tighe, which is his second time.
Hello. Happy to be back.
So nice to have you here. And we have Katie, and this is your third?
I think.
Second?
Is it second or third? I don't know. I can't keep track.
We'll look
I
back.
was on here with you once, so did you do it by yourself at any point?
Oh, so
no,
your second
I didn't.
time.
It's my second time. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. And we have Renee on very first time. Welcome, Renee.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Okay, we brought everyone together for this holiday Christmas party because we're talking about, I don't know if this is an infamous Christmas film, but it's a pretty big deal. I think this is a great movie. It is the 2010 action horror comedy Rare Exports.
A Christmas Tale.
A Christmas Tale, which is, I was just saying, a kind of American addition to the title so that everyone knew that it was a Christmas movie. Because you have to spell it out for Americans.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we don't understand anything.
Yeah, and also Bad Santa was already taken.
You know, I feel like I'm jumping the gun on this, but can we just all accept that Bad Santa is sorely missing dick? That movie should have full frontal male nudity in it.
Yeah, I can't
It has
disagree.
everything else.
Yeah.
I will not watch that film.
The
You're
film's
wrong.
real gross, but I think it's really funny.
I hate Billy Bob Thornton.
Fuck you, I'm leaving.
I
I can't
that.
accept
I hate
this.
him too.
Thank you. Thank you, Renee.
He is a delight.
He's
Yeah.
disgusting.
He-
I mean, this has
Oh.
been...
Yes,
yeah.
heebie-jeebies.
I met him. It was great.
This
Yeah.
has been something I've
I
just
bet he-
said
Exactly what
to-
you
yeah.
think. Just chain smoking on stage at the Egyptian. Didn't give a fuck. It was awesome.
Has he been Me Too'd yet? Because I feel like...
No, he won't be. He won't be. Because he gets consent. It's not going to be good, but he's like hanging out with chicks that are some real fucked up stuff, I bet.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't disagree with it. You're probably spot on.
He gets bad consent. Okay.
No, it's good consent because they're just all into this filth. I'm sure of it. It's like, is John Waters going to be Me Too'd? No, because he fucks twinks that are into it. Like, it's, you know.
You think that
Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton and John Waters are like the same
camp.
caliber?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
No, I don't like that.
There's
I like it.
I don't like
there's
that
a
either.
I don't feel good
fervency
about
to
it.
your defense of Billy Bob Thornton that is...
And it's actually working on me.
I believe it. I mean,
I'm kind of a believer.
I'm
We're gonna have the women
I'll
on
give
this
you guys
side.
copies of his country records, the Boxmaster stuff, fucking amazing.
Forgot he was
It's
in a band.
yeah, all dripping with misogyny.
I used to have someone prank call me when I worked at Hollywood Video, pretending to be Billy Bob Thornton from Sling Blade.
Excellent.
Oh, Jesus.
It would happen all the time.
That's awesome.
I don't know. I never, to this day, have no idea who was calling me.
Oh my God, I wish this was a Colin show.
It
and they
was
just, like,
Billy
was
Bob
still
Thornton.
listening.
Yeah.
Or it was actually
Yeah.
Billy Bob.
Wait, they could have that could have been their voice. Like,
No, it was
Those,
it
like,
was
lines
no
from Sling Blade.
specifically saying.
Like wanted like mustard and biscuits.
I was
To be
I've
fair,
never
this Hollywood
seen it.
video
I've
was
never
in fact was Louisiana.
I've
to
never
be
seen
fair.
Sling Blade, obviously.
Oh.
Because I don't like it. I know.
Oh, Dwight Yoakam's in it. All my favorites are in that movie. Oh,
Okay, so let me throw out the synopsis real quick of the film Rare Exports, which is the film that we're talking about, our Christmas film. How do we say, I cannot do the characters' names, this is a Finnish film.
Well, I can get them up, and I can have a
Well,
go.
say the child's name.
Well, hold on, I haven't got it in front of me
We'll say
otherwise.
Petrie.
Yeah.
It's
No,
not.
it's like Pitari.
Pitari?
Yeah, I
Pitari,
think it's
yeah.
Pitari.
Mm-hmm.
Young Patari lives
say it a
with
lot.
his reindeer-herding father in Arctic Finland. On the eve of Christmas, a nearby excavation makes a frightening discovery, and an evil Santa Claus is unleashed.
That's it.
That's kind of what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little
Ostensibly.
bit.
It's not
It's
yeah.
a little misleading because then you think, yeah, they're all Santas, but there's the big Santa.
I feel
Yeah,
like on
that's true.
paper this feels like more of a family movie than it is. And it's not a family movie as
Yeah.
long if your family's cool.
Yes,
Like-
the director was saying that as well. I mean, in some of the interviews, people were asking him, do you think children could watch this film? He goes, well, I would let my kids watch it because I'm cool, but I think there's a lot of elements that maybe aren't appropriate for some people's kids.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it with my father last year. Granted, I'm an adult, but I could see him watching that with me when I was 12.
There's a reconciliation in it.
Yeah.
It's kind of off screen, but it's
fine.
a happy family.
There's an inherent darkness in the film which you can get from fairy tales and the grim stuff. I mean, I think that's kind of evident and present
Well,
in this, and certainly a lot of it is based off of Scandinavian folklore as well.
Well, all good
Yeah.
Christmas stories are kind of dark and fucked up in some way, I'd say.
Yes,
If you go back far enough.
I mean, even
Yeah.
Christmas Carol isn't that long ago, and that's a pretty dark story.
I mean, it's about being haunted by your dead partners because you swindled money off of poor people. I mean, that's effectively what that story's all about.
Yeah.
Well, and It's a Wonderful Life is pretty dark because
Yeah.
he's about to kill
The central
himself.
theme of that movie is suicide.
Yes.
He's gonna jump off a bridge
Let's not forget about Gremlins. Renee's favorite part of Gremlins.
Oh,
the
the
Santa.
story about the chimney, yeah.
Yeah, which Joe Dante fought to have in the fucking
I love
movie.
it.
Fought.
I love that it really did.
Oh
change
yeah,
the-
they were adamant to cut it. He was like, absolutely not. That story is staying in the movie.
and it changed people's view. They thought that statistic was accurate.
Oh,
And
yeah.
It's not accurate. But more suicides don't happen over the holidays,
Yeah.
but people believed it because it was a fucking Joe Dante, Steven Spielberg movie, and that's awesome.
She just casually throws out opening their wrists. They could be opening presents while they're opening their wrists. It's like, Jesus. And then it just keeps going.
Yeah.
You're like, my God.
Yeah.
Today
Yeah.
that would not pass. Anyway.
So the tagline of this film, I'm gonna run through this real quick so I want to hear a little bit about the director as well. So the tagline of this film is very funny, actually. He knows if you've been naughty, he knows if you've been nice, and he doesn't give a shit. It's cute. It's cute. So it's starring some Finnish actors. We have a father and son in the movie who are father and son in real life, and they have Finnish names. So why don't we talk about the director, Ryan?
Yeah, we can. I mean,
They're all fabulous.
well, the director also has a Finnish name because he's from Finland as well.
His name is slightly easier to pronounce than everyone else's.
Jalmari Helander. I
Nailed
don't know.
it.
Well, I mean, I think I got there.
Perfection.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'll do it again. Jalmari Helander.
Yeah, you just got to commit to it.
Yeah, see, I did.
Buongiorno.
Yeah. Thing is, I can get away with this. I'm technically European, so it's okay. I'm allowed. Yeah. The thing is, we're also we've butchered so much here. No, but you're talking about Oni Tamalia and Jorma Tamalia, who are the father-son team in this. Because the young boys
Tommy
used
Corpella is another person that's in this film.
yeah, or Ilmari Jara. Oh, that is a hard one. Jarvanpa. I mean, I used to do German, so I kind of understand like the difference between these umlauted vowels, but yeah, no, I'm not.
It's coming
I'm not
across
gonna bother.
perfectly. Just
Anyway, I've said the
This is
director's name
wonderful.
already. So he's a Finnish screenwriter and film director. He's an award-winning short film and commercials director, and Rare Exports is effectively his feature film debut. So his filmography, for the most part, he started off making short films. So let's say in 1999, he made a film called Iceman. Same year, he made Maximilian Tarzan. In 2001, he made Yokonen. And then in 2003 and 2005, we have the two films that effectively inspired the feature film version. In 2003, we have Rare Exports Incorporated, and in 2005, we have the official Rare Exports Incorporated Safety Instructions, and then in 2006, we have a film called The Fakir. But basically, yes, those are the two films that inspire the making of what becomes the full version of Rare Exports.
We were trying to figure out if those were on the physical DVD or the Blu-ray. And
They're on the Blu-ray.
They're on the Blu-ray. Oh, great.
I've seen it. They're on the Blu-ray. Has anybody seen them?
I ran out of time. You've watched them?
We watched them on YouTube.
Oh,
they're
good.
on there in a not the greatest quality, but they're on there.
Yeah.
Are they
You
good?
mean the video quality or the
Video
quality of the film?
No, the video
okay.
quality is just like 240. Where, you know what I mean?
Gotcha,
It's like whoever stole it. I mean, it was officially put on YouTube. I think I read on the internet, but from what I can find now, it's not. It's I would say the first one there. You can tell that he's like a commercial director because they're presented as like sales videos.
Oh, that's kind
Like,
of funny.
like if you're like
That's
the
cool.
first one is like how they procure the Santas, and the second one's like a safety video for handling your Santa when you get it. So they're like English voiced over with I think it's at least the second one at least has the same father and son, but I think it might be the same three actors for both of them.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell.
They're wearing less
Again,
clothes.
wearing less clothes and it's 240
get up,
resolution,
so it's
so you're
hard
like,
to tell
is
if
that
it's
the
the same
guy?
people. But yeah.
I would say the first one, if you've already seen Rare Exports, is kind of ruined because the whole setup is just like this like big thing where they're following the hunters and you don't know, and then it's a reveal that they're hunting a Father Christmas. So it kind of ruined. The second one is very funny. It's like a funny like handling like PSA kind of thing.
with
So,
all the rules.
Yeah, the
you know,
rules about how to
safety
handle
rules.
your. I would say the first one does have a naked Father Christmas in it. The second
Perfect.
one, sadly, the second one they're closed. It's a bit of a cop out, I think. But anyway,
Cool.
they're solid.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a little bit frowned upon just sending naked old men through the mail.
Well, that's
Well,
we'll get there.
I said like that the guy doesn't look like Santa, and we decided that it might ruin your career as a Santa if your dick is on YouTube. That's
Probably. If that got out there, I'd probably be like, yeah, maybe don't come to our kids' party.
Okay, Ryan, sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I mean, I didn't really have much to add other than he's made 3 other films after Rare Exports, one including Big Game, which is a Sam Jackson movie, in 2014. He had a recent release in 2022 with Immortal, and he has another movie that's been announced called Jerry and Miss Universe. So,
Jerry?
Jerry.
Or is it Jerry and Miss Universe?
This is
a
Jerry and
remark
Miss
of-
Universe.
It's a remake of the Gus Van Sant movie.
What?
There was a
You've
Jerry
not seen
was
Jerry,
a,
yeah,
was a
Jerry.
Gus Van Sant movie that's really boring.
It's a walking
Cut
in
that fucking joke out. Fucking crickets. Don't
What
have
if Gus
fucking,
listens, though?
Yeah,
What if Gus listens?
he would love that joke. Gus would love that joke.
Would he?
I was gonna laugh because that's just a Walking in the Desert movie with Matt Damon and Casey Affleck, right?
Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
all
there you go.
happens.
Alright,
It's
so there you
awesome.
go.
But
Why didn't you laugh at the joke then? I've never seen that movie.
Well, you don't need to. That's the whole point. You don't need to see the movie. We just explained it to you. Anyway,
Okay,
yeah.
great. I think the young boy Oni Tamila is in all of these movies.
He's in Big Game. He's got top billing with Sam Jackson.
That's
Lovely.
on the poster,
amazing.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He's an action star now.
That's great.
Yeah. So,
I do want to start off. This film starts off with an archaeological excavation, and I want to point out that archaeologists ruin everything. It's all their fault.
yeah.
don't disagree.
Yeah.
Usually in cinema, yeah, you're right.
It belongs in a museum. Okay.
As an
Yeah,
archaeologist,
doesn't that-
I disagree. It belongs in the ground, and keep those Santas in there, okay?
Yeah. I mean, you're only saying that just purely on the basis that as you're the person digging it out of the ground, you just don't want to do the digging.
I just want to go home. Yeah, typically.
You just can't be bothered
You
with
send
it.
me to Finland, I'm just not
I
going
mean,
to be
these
happy.
are just blasting
No.
shit out of there, to be fair. I don't think there was a shovel involved.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was
yeah.
a very deep hole.
To be fair,
deep.
It's a whole mountain.
to be
Yeah.
fair,
No, it was a burial. He said it was the biggest burial mound ever.
Oh,
It puts
Yeah.
the pyramids to shame.
it's also, I mean, yeah, good luck trying to shovel the ground in Finland, though, because it's below zero almost all of the time.
Yeah, it's just frozen.
Yeah, so, yeah, good luck trying to dig with your hands. Yeah, just blow it up. Just blow the fucking thing up.
I'd like to also point out that they were Americans. Also,
Yeah.
also the root of all
Yes.
evil, American
Which
archaeologists.
is hilarious, and their accents were very American,
Very.
which is...
Was that first person that we meet at the beginning of the film actually American, though? Because he sounds
No.
sounds
No, that's-
English. He sounds like a little bit like this.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
No, he was just a man who could speak English
Yeah.
that they hired for the film.
We need an Englishman. I was like, okay.
That'll
There
work.
he is. He'll do.
That'll work.
All white, all white, all white. Yeah, that's it.
You know the kid's friend? What do you remember? I don't remember the kid's name.
Oh, well,
It's not
I'm...
Juno. It's
Just
Juso?
Juso? Yeah.
Yeah, Juso.
Yeah,
might be
Juso.
right.
G-U-U-S-A.
do you remember Pete and Pete? Do you remember that
Yes.
that show? He
Yes.
looks like the
Yeah.
older
He
Pete from
absolutely
Pete
looks like
and
the older
Pete.
Yeah.
Pete. Thank you.
Oh, great.
He does.
I'm glad I wrote that down, guys.
The Laplander Pete.
There's a lot happening in this movie, and I really only wrote notes for the end of the film, which is pretty sad. Well, it's not sad. I mean, it's an interesting movie, and it doesn't lag at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's not a bad movie, but it's a gem. It's a gem amongst the plethora of other kind of Christmas movies that we're treated to kind of year in, year out. Because it's different. I think this is different. I mean, in terms of like the pantheon of like horror Christmas movies. I mean, my favorite's probably Black Christmas, potentially.
Yeah, but which one?
Yeah, which of the many?
Oh, the original. Yeah, the original.
I'm on the original.
I mean, I
Obviously.
love the other ones as well. The second one especially is very good. I think.
Yeah,
The second one is very 2000s, and then
That's what I love
the
about it.
new
It's such a
the
beautiful
new
time
one I
capsule.
really liked as well. I thought it was fun. A lot of people hated it.
Yeah, the guy who directed the first remake, Glenn Morgan, he had previously made the Willard remake, which I also think is very good.
Yeah, it is.
And when he was making the Black Christmas remake, he's like, if this movie flops, I'm never going to work again. And then it flopped, and he never worked again. He has not made another. Yeah, he has not made another feature since.
I mean, you
Okay.
gotta love a man who keeps his word.
I just would like
Yeah.
to see him make $10 million remakes for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
To be fair,
They're
that
all
choice
gold.
might have been taken out of his hands.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. He's
Oh,
a man of his
boy.
word by putting his word in the control of someone else. So,
I love Krampus.
I just got the 4K disc of the unrated version, and I haven't watched it yet because I bought it at the Scream Factory sale.
I would
So-
like to see that. I enjoyed Violent Night, that new one that just came out. So as far as like Killer Santas go,
Or the David Harbour one.
yeah, and then Santa's Sleigh is a perfect movie as well.
I did just watch that again.
That's the Goldberg one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We're neglecting the actual best though is Silent Night Deadly Night Part 2.
I guess.
I mean, it is so good. So good.
You got it's audio only, but you can't tell that Josh's screen on his phone is Silent Night, Deadly Night.
That's true.
Yeah, and Josh, you were just talking earlier about how you don't get excited about things. You got really excited just now.
I do get excited about that movie.
His eyes lit up.
Yeah. Have you seen it? It's amazing.
I don't know if I have.
We're gonna watch all
I
5
haven't.
of them then.
There's 5?
Fuck
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
there are.
Oh my god.
Sounds like our next party.
Yeah, it's great. I got the 3, 4, and 5 are finally getting released on Blu-ray this Tuesday. I already pre-ordered it
Oh my god.
because my DVD quality sucks. It's like a VHS rip. It's garbage, but I've dealt with it for years. But
You've dealt with it?
the 5th one has Mickey Rooney in it.
It does.
And he protested the original because he didn't like the idea of all the angry moms were upset about Killer Santa. And he joined in the protest and then like 10 years later starred in the 5th one.
Yeah, he's
I
got
gets
love
up
it.
in the morning, stirs a coffee, looks over at the shelf, shakes disappointingly at the quality of those DVDs.
You have no idea. I have it the old DVD sitting on my coffee table right now, just like, I gotta put this online or somebody's gotta take this out of my house. I don't even want it around anymore. It's been a burden for far too long.
It's a burden. Oh my god.
Well, I'm going to put it on the list.
Brian
then.
Usna of Reanimator fame.
I know.
He directed part 4 with Clint Howard. Clint Howard's in it.
Yeah.
Oh
Screaming
my
Mad
gosh.
George did the special effects. It's fucking rules.
Treasures.
Yeah.
But yeah, Laura, it shouldn't come as a surprise. We spoke about it on the episode.
Do you think I remember things that we talk about on these episodes?
I don't know.
Obviously
I don't
not.
know. Yeah.
I barely remember this film. We just watched it.
So I was wondering if this mountain was a real place, and I looked it up, and they call it a hill on Google Maps.
It definitely
You went on
looks
Google
like
Maps.
a hill.
Yeah,
Yes.
And you
Corva
mapped-
Tentori, and it says a hill associated with Santa.
Oh.
And then I also read the Google reviews of the location
Of the hill?
of the hill, and
Wow.
it's a nice place to go hiking. They say,
I want
and also people send their Christmas cards from there.
I want to see what the 3-star reviews for that is. Like, the people who say, fuck this hill, that's pretty funny, and the people who really like it is fucking weird, I want to be like, I've seen better.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I'll send my
There were
Christmas
3
cards from elsewhere.
There are
Yeah.
3 reviews, to be fair. There was a
what
lot.
was the average score? Were they all 5s?
Oh man, I think they're all high. They were
Oh, okay.
nature lovers.
Huh.
You know?
We need to go on there and review that and start dragging that average down, because that's funny. Huh.
Oh, that's a,
Is it close to being a mountain, like that Hugh
Like
Grant
the-
movie?
Oh God.
the man who went up a hill and came down a mountain.
I don't know the definitions and differences, but it looks like a big hill.
It's a fell.
Okay.
I
Of
think
rocks.
Technically, it's a
Yeah.
fell. It's a geographic.
Is it true? Are you making this?
No. I think it's that. It's a fell, which is just a I think technically, I don't know, like a sparse geographic feature. I don't know. That's what they call them. That's been in the
Well-
world. So I did find out the reason people think that is like it's like some Orson Welles War of the World shit. Some radio DJ in it was either Finland or I think made that up and it stuck, and that sort of became a thing like,
That's
in
fun.
popular culture there.
Love that.
Yeah,
Oh, that's very weird.
very weird.
And then they chose that for the movie. Was that the reason why they filmed it there?
They must. Well, actually, I don't want to
Or
get
was
off
it-
this topic, but they actually didn't even film it in Finland. They filmed it in Norway. It's a Finnish movie made
That's
in
it,
Norway.
because I
Yeah.
actually I always thought it was Norwegian, and then you mentioned Finland, I was like, oh yeah, I guess it is Finland. And
Yeah, but they did-
They're all
Okay.
Finnish, but they filmed it in Norway. So the
Okay.
actual place is in Finland, but they didn't film it there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
In like northern Norway.
So
I
this
mean,
movie
yeah,
is
those-
not to be
yeah.
trusted right off the bat.
Right.
100% fucking lying to you.
Yep.
So they call it the place that's in Finland, but really it's in Norway.
Yeah, Katie, there's this thing called movie magic.
Like,
But like, where's what is
The
the
location.
What is the
RoboCop
what is
wasn't
the
actually
actual
in
like?
Detroit.
I need to.
Sorry, what's your question?
I need to know if what the actual hill looks like versus.
You can Google it. It's a hill.
It's
The
an
actual hill
it's
is in
just-
Finland.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's a hill.
Correct.
It's a hill.
Yeah.
It's a big hill. I'd
It's
say.
not a mountain
I
like the
low
one
back.
that
back
we
to the
see.
Hugh Grant
It
movie.
looks
Do you
like a
think that
baby
the
mountain.
locals could turn it
Out
into a
front.
mountain? What are these Finnards
Ryan,
doing?
if the hill is in Scotland, is it still a hill or is it a Munro?
Excellent question.
Well, why would you put me on the spot for that as well, though? Because like it didn't look
Can you
any.
go up a Munro and come
Well,
down
the,
a mountain?
The hill in I'm calling it a hill. The hill in Rare Exports doesn't seem any taller than Arthur's Seat would be. You know, we were talking about reviews and stuff for like those locations and things. I remember seeing a 1-star review for Arthur's Seat, which was it was like, oh, I can't believe I had to climb it.
Awesome.
You know, so. The idiots do travel abroad, obviously. Yeah, no, I mean, but again, like, it's a stone's throw away from Finland to Norway.
Yeah, it's all part of the peninsula.
I don't want to say they all look the same. They've all got their own cultural identity, but at the same time, they do look very similar because they're all in the northern hemisphere. Everything's covered in snow.
Uh-oh. All right, you're going to make
I don't know
these...
how many listeners within the Arctic Circle you guys have, but they're about to be pissed.
I
You
am
know what?
also...
I regularly look, and none. So you can say whatever you want.
Fuck them
No.
Hi.
I'm
Just kidding.
No.
I'm
kidding.
just kidding.
I can't, I'm here for just now.
You're okay.
That's it, yeah, I think
You're
we're
okay.
alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to
Need
fucking
to make
go
yourself
anywhere.
an anchor baby real quick.
Yeah.
I know how this
Is that a
works.
real term? Anchor baby?
Yeah, yeah. That's what
Never heard that.
that's what racists call it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's awful.
That's why
I am-
Josh is throwing it out there.
I
And
am
talking about
horrified.
things that are awful.
It's usually associated with Latin American countries.
Talking about things
I
that
feel
are
like I'm the
awful.
only guy that didn't know this. Laura, did you know about this?
No.
I've never heard this.
Really?
Wow.
It was
no.
like popular, I don't know, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
People were saying it a lot.
4 to 6 years.
Oh,
2 to
really?
6
What was
years.
happening?
I mean,
Who
I heard
knows?
my grandfather say in the 90s, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Of
when
course,
I was
that's- yeah.
when I was dating a guy whose father was from Mexico and his mother was from Detroit, I definitely had some really shitty family members be like, "Oh, is he an anchor baby?"
Awesome.
And I was like,
I've never heard this term.
"That's really
Yeah, I've never heard
offensive."
it. I mean, I
It's-
immediately get it. I get it.
It's evocative. It's great.
Yeah.
It's really a perfect
100%.
slur.
Yeah.
Because you know what it is right away.
Yeah, it's effective. I'll give it that. But oof.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather be deported than have a child.
Thank you, everybody. It's going to wrap
Honestly,
up the podcast. For
yes.
this
Yeah,
episode.
the dog we have is difficult enough.
No, and also he's not an actual baby. You know, like that dog.
They put those kids in those bags next
those
to
Potato
all
bags.
those open ovens,
Potato
That's true,
sacks.
next to open ovens, yeah.
and they're warming up that Santa.
But before they put the children in the bags, do you guys remember when he poured the stuff on the desk and be like, "Look at this"? What did you guys think that was the first time you saw it? Do you?
Sawdust.
I don't know. It looked like the flakes that come off people's feet.
Oh,
No.
Jeez.
I was like,
I like that that's
calluses?
I was like, "What is that? Is that
Foot shavings?
You ever
Oh.
seen those
Dead
foot
skin?
shavers?
No.
Where it comes off like Velveeta cheese?
Oh, Jesus.
I guess I go get pedicures a lot and I look around.
Here's
I
a
see
bag
some
of
things.
corns.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bunyan country, baby.
someone's just gathering up all those
Yeah.
shavings.
I'm like legit.
Making a ball. Skin ball.
Press them together. Imagine that hitting you in the face unexpectedly, just bursting. Oh,
I remember seeing a video
would make
online
a very-
about someone who got a corn about as big as a golf ball taken out of the ball of their foot.
Don't like
I've
that.
seen that, yeah.
I am not a fan of this.
No, I'm
Please get
okay.
us out of here.
Back to
someone.
anchor babies.
Yeah, there was a long time in this when I first saw this film, and it took me a long time to watch it. Surprisingly, because this is a tradition at our local movie theater at the Enzian in Maitland. So they do it every year, and it's like their tradition to play rare exports. And I remember seeing it every year, and I never watched it until last year, which is very strange because this is something I would want to watch.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's nice when you see things that you know. I don't know, something that can surprise you after all the years of movie watching, you know. So this one was a big surprise to me, especially since no one told me there was a penis in this movie.
Huh.
And
Well,
that's
it's not just
something.
one. There's
so
several. There's
many.
an army.
Maybe they expected that I'd
Yeah.
seen it because that's something that I would
Right. How did
typically
you not
know.
see the Cock Army movie? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I mentioned it like recently, but
Well, yeah, but I'd already seen it by that point. But
Yeah.
I still love getting texts from people. You guys text me like, "Oh, there's a penis in this." I'm like, "Thank you very much." Most of them I've already seen, but I love getting those texts anyway. But no one ever mentioned this one to me. So I remember screaming
Well, that's
when
why
we
have-
watched it
we
last
have
year. I'm like,
so
"Oh God!"
many
And then
people
it's just
here.
the whole end of the film.
Yeah.
Penises.
yeah, dicks
Wow,
out.
on dicks. Wow,
Dicks
wow.
out for Christ.
I
don't think
Jesus is present for this.
No.
film.
Yeah, I
No.
don't think
No,
that-
Jesus is not present, but
No.
that's
I love this movie. I've seen it multiple times, and I go, "There's a penis in that?" I guess I just don't see penises like you do.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, there's an old penis. I'd like
I
to
will
forget
say,
that."
I've seen the movie every year since it came out because I was working for the theater proper
Right.
when it was originally released, and then I was in those meetings where the programming director, who is a very angry, non-practicing Jewish man, just doesn't really like anyone. It's just levels of tolerance. Where he just like
I
I
think he likes me.
I think he's softened in his older age
Yeah.
too. So, but he like in this like admin meeting, he's like, "I don't ask for shit. We are showing this. This is going to be an Enzian tradition from now on." And like nobody can really say anything because he really doesn't put his foot down very often.
Wow.
And that was where he planted his flag, was fucking rare exports. So what I was getting to with that is that I've seen it every year theatrically. Last year I missed it in theaters and I watched it with my father at home, like at his house. And I realized that the penises aren't as noticeable on the small screen as they are the big. Like it kind of all blends together and it could easily seem like it was blurred out a little bit, maybe. Some of the shots. It's not. I rewound it, but
You zoomed in. And,
yeah, frame by frame.
yeah.
There's a lot of interesting skin to look at. To be fair, like
Yeah.
it's not. You're not going to just focus on that because they're interesting bodies.
I find
Yeah,
it disconcerting that
that's
they're
true.
all so
Yeah.
old and hairy men, but they seem to not have a whole lot of pubic hair. Some of them are downright shaven.
I
think
do
that's a
think
weird
that
thing.
happens when you get older.
Oh, it falls out?
Yeah.
There
I
is
do think you don't grow as much hair when you get older, and that's like all over your body.
Oh.
Yeah, people
I can't wait for
in
that.
nursing say you can guess a person's age by looking at their pubic area.
Wow.
I've heard that.
Rings of the
That-
tree.
You really do learn something every day.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
Cool.
So the actual men that well, should I wait? Maybe we can get into the scene a bit. Why not? Do you want to get into like the end of the film? Does anyone want to say anything about the film before we talk about the barrage of penises?
I have a question.
Absolutely.
Did you do research into the lore surrounding, like, because he was looking at a bunch of books, and he was like looking into the origin of Santa Claus and how like it used to not be great. And I was curious if anyone else like had looked into it.
Both Ryan and I did some research today.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Okay.
I guess like mine is really fucked up. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, did we come to any sort of decision on? Because I think a lot of it, like is seeded in elements of Scandinavian folklore, and I went further into looking at like Bavarian and like shaman folklore as well, because there's a lot of that stuff kind of is kind of integral to the Santa Claus story, at least the olden Asian Santa Claus story, or as I've referred to it here as Sinterklaas.
Mine's a little bit. I only wrote maybe 3 sentences, and it's basically on the Finnish Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So
because like what you've got your Kris Kringles, your old Saint Nicks, your kind of your Coca-Cola Santas, which is definitely not what this is.
Correct.
This is the the thing is, I don't know. Did you could I mean, there's a fantastic image in the beginning of the movie of the Santa Claus visage sitting upon a throne of skulls, which I think is fucking awesome.
Yes.
But you could mistake this Santa Claus for what would be formerly known as Krampus, which is more the German Austrian tradition.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I thought this was just a Krampus movie.
I thought it was Krampus as well, but obviously it is not. So it's kind of like a hybridization of several different things. I mean, I don't know if you have any more to add. I do have this horrible fucked up thing that I was going to talk about, and I wanted to see if anybody else knew about it.
So I have the Santa in this movie, from what I researched, is a mix of 2 things. You have the Juhlapuki, who is like the Finnish Santa Claus, who's like a goat man, and he comes around on Christmas Eve. Cool. And he has these evil spirits called the Nutipuki, who would go door to door demanding gifts and leftovers from the Yule feast. So from what I can understand, that this Santa is a mix of these kind of 2 things.
Yes.
So the Santa that they are talking about doesn't give gifts, he takes.
Right.
He takes gifts.
Yes. Which seems to be the tradition going around Bavaria, Austria, Germany, and also Holland, where obviously Krampus originates, but also this other character who is affectionately known as Black Pete. Does anyone know who Black Pete is?
I do.
Anyone ever heard of Black Pete?
I do too.
Yeah. So we did a little bit of reading. So effectively, yeah, this is still ongoing, and I think maybe within the last kind of year or so, with obvious developments in morality and decency, there's less people wandering around with blackface on. But basically, Black Pete is referred to as Zwarte Piet, and this kind of ties in really close to like your descriptions of the Finnish folklore, where they have like little helpers. Black Pete is one of those little helpers, and I guess it's really fucked up to look at like really old pictures of where you see a Santa Claus figure and he's got like a black servant like handing him food, which is also very good. But this originates more in like Holland. You've got the Sinterklaas, and basically Black Pete is part of a group of mythical creatures of the underworld who listen to the good and the bad that comes out of the chimneys of homes. Ooh. To figure out who's good or bad and who will be receiving and who will be stolen away in the night. And this is obviously kind of where Krampus and stuff also originates from as well. But I don't know, I just thought I'd put this one in here. It's kind of based on shaman traditions, and obviously the Moors, as they were, let's say they were conquering, certain parts of Europe at the time, this is effectively where the visage of Black Pete originates from. But it's not uncalled for during the celebrations that people cover their faces in blackface and parade around to celebrate Black Pete.
And this is like to this day.
This is to this day, and it's something that they are fervently fighting, as far as I'm aware. It is an abolition of tradition. So, but certainly,
Heritage, not hate.
Yes.
Yeah, I did want to comment on the Black Pete stuff. Did any of you watch that that Dutch horror? Well, it's kind of like a horror movie, I guess. It was sort of more wish fulfillment. The Columnist.
No.
It's on Shudder. We received it for the film festival like a few years back, and it's about like this woman who's like a feminist columnist in Holland. I believe it's Holland. This movie called The Columnist, like this woman is writing, and I think she wrote something about how like Black Pete was offensive, and people would just like terrorize her online. And so in this sort of wish fulfillment sort of like movie, she ends up going to these people's houses and murdering them.
Oh, wow.
And it gets pretty dark. And then it's all like morally ambiguous because you're just like, oh, these people are garbage, but should they be murdered?
So she's going after the people who were giving her shit on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I did kind of write this stuff down because it does circle back into Nordic traditions where it's kind of linked to the Wild Hunt of Odin. I just wanted to talk about all this stuff because it's cool. But the Wild Hunt of Odin, who rode a white horse called Sleipnir, and he would use his helpers, as in quotation marks, helpers, obviously listen to the chimneys and listen for the good and the bad behavior of the mortals. So effectively, Black Pete is a demon who goes around, and yeah, I mean, obviously, as you know, the lore couldn't get any more kind of disparaging and offensive, but yeah, there you go.
They've kind of taken that away from our, I don't know, like our American Santa Claus.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, well, they talk about that, and I know I have it written down where they say that the American Santa Claus evolved from, I think you were saying, Ryan, the Sinterklaas, who was brought to New York by Dutch settlers in the 17th century.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then it's kind of evolved from there. So from being this kind of skinny, kind of otherworldly being to being this just like fat jelly dude who just gives us presents. So, but we don't have demons. We don't
Shaking
have
his
any
belly
fun
like a bowl full of jelly.
evil spirits.
Yes, I mean, effectively that's kind
Kids
of where
need to be
it goes
threatened.
from.
Do you know what the equivalent of those evil spirits are now in America is Elf on a Shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Always watching, always judging.
I just learned that's a relatively new tradition. I thought that like I
Elf on
didn't-
a Shelf?
Yeah, I had no idea. We didn't have that when I was a child, but
Yeah,
we didn't
same.
have a lot of things because
Yeah, we didn't have that either.
shit,
That
but I
is
found,
new.
But a friend of mine said that
What
was
is it?
invented in just like 2005.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's super
that's
nice.
a track.
I mean,
Yeah.
Santa Claus effectively was there. He's, he knows when you're sleeping awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. Like, he's still
Yeah.
a threat.
Oh,
You
that's
know.
ass.
He's watching you. He's listening. He knows if you're being a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But the Elf on a Shelf, like, I've seen some horrible things on the internet of parents doing fucked up things to their kids and then blaming it on Elf on the Shelf. I think it's just a way for parents to retaliate because they're horrible children.
Mm-hmm.
Elf on the Shelf now has also multiple pets you can purchase that will also watch you. And there's Santa cams. You guys know
No,
about this?
well, you have more friends with children,
Yeah,
so
they-
you have the insider's view.
Santa has many ways to watch you, and those are some of them.
Oh my god.
creep.
I want to know more.
I have like 6, I call them nibblings, the nieces
What?
and nephews.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Oh, they
Wow.
sounded like little snacks.
Oh, dear.
Scrub me from this
Yeah.
episode.
No, that's
I'm
what
outta here.
that's what the
Oh.
gender neutral term for nieces and nephews is.
Say it again.
Too late.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not
exactly.
gonna do it.
Nibblings.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like
No,
it
thank you.
either.
Love
They
it.
also can be called niblets.
That's
Ooh.
so
I
much
hate
worse.
that more. I
Dear.
hate
Dear.
it more.
Oh, fuck.
I
The
have,
first one could be racist or sexual. That's just racist.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a
What?
snack.
Yeah, I'm just getting hungry.
Racist snack.
Little
I
kids, it
have
was
I have
similar, too.
I have 2 nieces and 4 nephews, and none of them have Elf on the Shelf. That was all I was going to say. But thanks for making me feel weird about the gender neutral.
Isn't the fun of having children though terrorizing them at least for their formative years as children?
My father sure thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did my parents.
I used to do that to my brother all the time. He was terrified of clowns, so my uncle used to dress up as a clown and hide in the cupboard.
That's
and then he would
awesome.
jump out.
So I would do the same thing if I had kids, but I'm not interested.
Yeah.
They're. Ugh.
Thing is, terrorizing kids for like a decade for maybe 5-10 minutes a day does not help to alleviate the burden of having them for the rest of your natural fucking life.
Well, that's why I'm still scared of E.T. because my parents had an E.T.
You're worried you have a child and it looks
put
like
it in my
E.T.
closet, and they would leave the closet open just so he'd peeking out. No kid wants their closet open at all.
Nope.
Ever. I don't want the closet open now. The closet behind you is open a little bit, and I'm not happy about it.
My closet is closed. What do you
You
mean? Is
know?
it what's open? The one behind us?
Yes.
Not anymore. Thanks, Josh. You're
No
here.
It's open over there too.
Well, this one doesn't.
I don't care,
it
I'm an
doesn't
adult.
Close, it doesn't close all the way.
I'm an adult, and I'm still a little bit freaked out by the closet, probably because
Well, grow
the
up,
torment
Laura. Come on.
that my parents put me
None
through
of this shit's real.
with that E.T. in the closet. And then I'd hear them down the hall laughing at me, by the way.
I have a question about rare exports. Is the one with the horn the daddy Santa and the
That
rest of
is-
the children?
That
or-
is Santa.
Okay.
So
Say
that
that
is
again slower.
Yeah.
Daddy Santa.
There it is.
now
I have
that's
to-
the movie that
We'll
Katie
have to
was
laugh
talking about.
because
Oh,
Renee
yeah,
just
yeah.
saying that. I already
Violent
have
Night.
that in my notes. I called it Santa Daddy. Yeah.
Santa
So-
Daddy, you're the
Santa Daddy.
So
one. Yeah,
wait,
that's a
what?
Santa Daddy in the ice that they're heating up with the ovens open to
One hair dryer.
and one
Yes,
hair
yes.
dryer. And all the radiators, right?
Yeah.
Because
That's
all
a
the
really-
radiators were stolen.
Yeah,
And
isn't that a
stove.
really anticlimactic conclusion though? They kind of just blow it up with dynamite and then that's it.
Well, I know the director was talking about wanting to eventually, after he does other projects, to make a sequel where you actually see what happens after. Like a Little Shop of Horrors type of situation, where you have all the bad Santas go, and then Daddy Santa, you actually get to see Daddy Santa.
Okay.
But I don't know when that's going to happen. It's been 12 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to see Daddy Santa. He looks terrifying.
Santa Daddy. It's not Daddy Santa. It's Santa Daddy.
Yeah, because Daddy Santa is David Harbour in Violent Night.
Yeah.
God, you're obsessed with that, right?
It's, it
It's
goes
good.
without saying.
Okay.
It looks like a Krampus.
It looks,
Yeah.
yeah, it certainly
It's
Yeah.
got
does.
those huge
Big
horns.
Yeah.
So, and also what I was reading about the drawings in the beginning of the film, those were actually made recently. Those aren't old
Sure.
photos or old drawings of what Finnish people thought Santa Claus
But were they
was.
made for the movie though?
I believe they were.
Oh, okay.
They
I
were
was gonna
either
say-
made for the movie or they were made in because of the film.
Yeah, I was gonna say that title sequence is one of my favorite things in the movie. That
It's
shot,
great.
that drawing of Santa just like dipping a kid into the cauldron is so
Yeah.
good.
It's great. I
Yes.
want all of
I
those.
love that.
I want to buy that book, The Truth About Santa, for all the children I know and make their parents very upset.
Yeah, I like that very much. But I think it's interesting because I think those pictures were going around and people were thinking that they were old pictures and old drawings of Santa Claus from back when, but they're not.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even if they're not real, then just make up something else so you have a control device for your children. So
that's the elf on the shelf.
You could just get
Elf on
like
the
one of
Shelf.
those collars that vibrates.
And they try to leave the yard.
yeah.
Like for dogs?
Yes. All right, let's talk about some dicks.
This movie is so weird. So we've have this family who ends up capturing a Santa, right?
Yeah.
A
Okay.
suspected Santa.
A suspected Santa. I think
Yes.
they believe he's dead.
And there's no women anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't
There's
realize
not a
that.
single woman in this film.
I
No.
didn't realize
Or-
that till we were talking earlier.
or
I was like,
girls.
there's no women.
Huh.
It's all men. I didn't
It's
realize
it's
that
all
until
men
I
and
was-
boys
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this
Not
entire movie.
That's
Even that list
interesting.
of
Right?
children he calls? Like they're all, I mean, I can't
don't
tell from
know.
their
And the
names.
guy references
yeah.
his wife for like the hairdryer thing, but like no, you never see. There's not.
Oh
a single
yeah,
woman in this film.
that's
Yeah.
the only
She's
woman who's
referenced.
referenced.
You never see her though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all male.
Yeah. Well,
I found a way.
So these Santas, they can smell children, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can sniff them out.
Sniff out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because kids are smelly. They stink.
Yeah, that's not a
Yeah, they
magic
fucking
trick. That's,
stink. Yeah, they can't wipe their own
You ever
arses.
smell the child?
Yeah,
Yes,
they're
everyone here
absolutely
smells the
stinking.
child because
Yeah.
they're fucking gross.
Just pick them up by their hair, give them a
I
good
don't
sniff.
go around sniffing children.
No.
You
I
don't
mean, they're
have to.
probably
They don't have
like
to.
they don't smell as bad because it's like cold outside, so like they don't
Yeah.
they're not sweating as much.
You
Sweaty children are really disgusting smelling.
Yeah, they don't wash.
They might be like me though. When it's cold outside, you don't want to clean yourself, and you just get stinkier and stinkier under all those winter clothes.
That's
could
true, because
That
you do
could be
sweat
it.
under those
Yeah.
clothes.
Their long johns smell terrible.
Yeah.
Been wearing them for 5 days straight.
Yeah.
All this like football gear he was wearing.
So
Oh, yeah.
why couldn't they smell him, and why didn't they get him?
They could smell
They
them.
could smell him.
They
I
could
don't
smell
know.
him.
I think he was just
That
lucky.
night they all went missing. He was still there.
He had like an alarm system set up
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
True.
he got it. He got away.
He got the jump on those Santas.
He was trying to
Yeah.
spook him with the with
Well, the Santa that got caught in the trap, it got caught in the pig trap.
Yeah.
So one did come to his house, but it got caught
Yeah.
in the pig farm.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, that's how he got caught.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for that Santa because those guys are beating him up and stuff, and they're trying to speak to him in English, and they're like, he has his own language. They just keep poking him and slapping him with a broom. I thought that was pretty lame.
I love everything that one man says in English, though. It's very fun. I can't remember
Yeah.
any of it,
Did
but I
you
was
say
like,
something about like, oh, how do you like the northern lights up here?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the first Dick scene at about 50 minutes and 33 seconds. Like
Roughly.
the whole, roughly, specifically,
yeah, approximate.
exactly.
Yeah. I think what we need to kind of point out is that all of these Santa helpers that we end up being presented with are all completely in the nutty for the most part.
100% at the time.
They're all 100% naked. So for us to be specific, it'd be like, well, this scene does include a naked man who's a naked Santa, and there's everything else to show.
You know, not to jump ahead, but like there's those big shots with the helicopter at the end, and like there's a bunch of Santas like following like the sack of children. But like,
Yes.
those are some CG dicks, because those are CG Santas down there. So there's some CG wieners in this movie
Huh.
too.
Oh yeah,
On
that's
top of
true.
the real
Yeah.
wieners.
Yeah, on top of real ones. I just realized
Right.
that like there's a
Yeah.
And
I
now
didn't
I'm thinking,
actually
I
notice
don't remember
that.
any other times that I've seen CG penises except for irreversible.
yeah,
Everything else has been some sort of prosthetic, but it's still physical.
yeah, true.
I mean,
Yeah,
I know
but
that there
those
have
were-
to be others, but I'm not sure. Those are the only two examples I can think of.
Yeah,
Men. The movie Men.
That's right. Yeah.
He was
that's
wearing
right.
like undies.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
fleshy undies, and then they just popped a dick on there
Yeah.
in post.
Fixed it in post, huh?
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
dick.
That's a shame.
That's one they should have fixed in pre.
I
Yeah, just show
Rory would have done it too if he would have given him the
show
choice.
us the dick. What?
Rory's done worse in film. What's his last name? Is it Kinnear?
McElroy.
Not sure.
He was in
Thought that
Black
joke
Mirror,
would've
the
went
one
over
where
better.
he
Yeah.
fucked the pig.
Charlie Brooker, modern day Marvel.
Wow. So he has him in this. I don't know. They're trying to figure out what this Santa's all about until the little boy comes in, and the Santa perks up because he smells this filthy child, right? and he's ready to get him because that's his mission. That's his only mission. He's got to get that boy. He's the only Santa that's failed in his mission so far, and he's naked. We've already said it. He's naked,
Yeah.
but that's like
Yeah.
the first scene where you see this guy and you see kind of like
Well, they're speaking to him in English. They're poking him with a broom. Next thing we know, the Santa's bitten the broom in half because
Yeah.
he's psycho, and he's just kind of standing there.
he also bit the guy's ear off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
aye.
yeah.
These Santa helpers are not particularly nice.
I
Yeah,
love how
that's-
tough that one guy is. He just like gets his ear bitten off, and he's just like, "Oh, you know, I'm
Yeah.
He's just
I'll
pissed.
put a rag on
Yeah,
it."
you're right.
Yeah.
He's just
He's
mad.
just like really pissed,
Yeah.
and then he just like slams that napkin on the ground.
They're definitely built differently in Scandinavia. Let's put it out that way.
He's
Yeah.
a hardy man. Yeah,
What was
that's
that movie? What was that movie we saw recently where those people allow their child to be stolen and they just sit there naked in the cold while rocks are being thrown at them? What's that movie called?
Oh,
That might actually change my
Speak
decision.
No Evil.
yeah, that was on Shudder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danish,
That movie
right?
is, I believe
Is it?
so.
I think it's Danish.
That movie's great.
I liked it.
Mm,
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but I will because Ryan's the only one that seems unimpressed.
I didn't understand the whole sitting there, lying there, just allow yourself to be pummeled with rocks.
We'll talk
until
about that
you
on an
die.
episode because there's a wiener in that movie. But
There is. That'll be a
It's
fun
It's a good one too. It's a nice long shot.
Yeah.
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 Man's scared.
It's all about
With his
being
exposed
polite.
Yeah.
Does he have a fear boner?
No, he does not.
No.
It's not that good.
There's penises throughout the whole end of this film, basically from 50 minutes until the end. And this movie, as we love in a film, is very respectful of your time. I think it's like 83 minutes.
Yeah.
It's brisk.
That's great.
It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
For a
It's
Christmas
very
movie,
respectful of your time.
I love a 90-minute movie, and if you can cut it down a bit,
Yeah.
perfection.
Because there was probably a good 4 or 5 minutes of that was credits too. So,
Yeah.
man, like 76
I think-
minutes is
yeah.
perfect.
That's great.
Yeah.
There needs to be, more people need to take a hint.
This podcast brought to you by theatrical distribution from 1985. 90 minutes or less.
And we don't even adhere to that. We are not respectful of anyone's time.
I am very curious, and I don't know if anyone found this in their research, but
No,
like,
we are.
Where did all of these naked old men come from? I'm very curious how they cast
I have
them.
this. I was waiting
Yes,
until we kind of
yes.
got
Good.
to the
Really
dick scene
curious.
before I started talking about it. So they, as we were talking about before, it was filmed in northern Norway, and there was an old man choir that were super interested in making this film, or they're interested in the film. So, and the director had no idea why they were so interested, but it took zero convincing whatsoever.
Oh my gosh.
So, because they were outside in northern Norway, they had 40 seconds to shoot these scenes. So they shot for 40 seconds, and then they had to spend 20 minutes inside a room. They called it the Elf Box. And it was just this really hot room where they all sat and played cards totally naked and drank coffee together.
Lovely.
I would like to see that footage, please.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they would just
I
go back
wanna-
to set.
This goes back to something that I've said about plenty of other movies. Fuck directors' commentaries. I want a PA commentary. I want to know who
Some
was
real
like,
boots on the
yeah,
ground.
like the second AD who had to wrangle these fuckers. Like, what is their story? Because you know
Who's
that's
making
got to
their-
be good.
Who was
Yeah.
making their coffee?
You're not
Yeah.
wrong.
Who went out and bought all the playing cards?
Yeah, who's listening to the disgruntled old man who's just maybe had a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were having a great time. I don't think it was even...
If they were that into it and took little convincing, probably.
Yeah, they're just having a great time. They're hanging out with their friends.
They would have been doing it otherwise. They were making
Yeah,
a
right.
day rate out of it. It was
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we forgot to say it was a naked old man's choir.
yeah.
And it
Imagine
was,
just
it
having
wasn't.
to walk in that team and be like, all right, boys, let's go to work.
Can I?
I mean, at least they're like comfortable with each other too.
True.
So like they're just like hanging out. They just happen to not have clothes on. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think they
Love that
originally
for them.
thought it was going to be hard to find so many old men.
This behind the scenes is the Doris Wishman movie that never got made. That's really
It really is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this keeps happening, but with the naked Santa elves, but it escalates almost every single time we see them naked. So the next time we see them naked is about 10 minutes later, around about the hour mark, and they're all kind of coming out of the woods.
Yeah.
And they're all creeping in and then just trying to, I don't know, thwart this situation. They're trying to protect big Santa Daddy.
Yeah, so the radio's gone off, and they end up communicating with the guy who we met at the very beginning of the movie, who basically is ramping everybody up to be like, we're gonna dig this hill,
The American.
and
The American.
the American with these very American accents. Yeah, no, he meets up with them, and they're gonna ransom off who they presume is the Santa Claus. They've put him in a cage.
Oh, right, yeah, because they don't know that there is the actual
Yes,
big Santa Daddy that's frozen in there.
yes.
So,
And then all the other naked helper elves start appearing in the woods with axes and pickaxes and spades.
They
Ready
slaughter
to-
that American
ready to
and
commit.
the helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
oh, it's pretty glorious.
Yes, yes.
So, gosh, I feel like you have a lot more written down than I do, Ryan.
Most of it's Black Pete.
Oh,
I mean, honestly, I cannot. If you want to see some really fucked up stuff that you find really hard to comprehend, just look for it up on Google, and you will see parties where people are celebrating a man in blackface.
Yeah, that's what I was
Look,
going to bring up. Josh.
I
have it on Blu-ray.
find
Oh my
out,
god.
I find out
Screw me
horrible,
from the episode.
horrible, fucked up things. I bring it to the podcast.
Kino released it. And they had a sale once, and I bought 3 movies from them: Birth of a Nation, Cabin Boy, and Lost Highway. And it was $7. It feels like something that, I don't know. I also have intolerance, so it all levels out, right?
Yeah, and
Whatever tells the judge.
I was planning on I was gonna borrow Birth of a Nation from Josh because I've never watched it, and I feel like it's something that I should just watch for knowledge of
Academic purposes.
Film history.
film
Exactly,
history
that's
and
exactly
like
what
the
I was
history
doing.
of
Exactly.
the Klan because it caused a resurgence in the Klan. But like Josh was like, well, I'm gonna keep it until New Year's because I want to watch it before
It's
the end
been
of the
sitting
year.
on my shelf for like 2 years, and I haven't watched it. I've seen it before, years and years ago. And she was going to borrow. I was like, well, how long are you going to keep it for? She's like, I don't know. I was like more than a month? She's like, yeah, probably like 3 or 4. I was like, we'll figure this out later.
It's hot in the queue.
I don't know. I was looking at your letterbox and how many films you've watched this year, Josh, and you are determined to get to 1,500.
I have 79 more to watch before the end of the year.
I calculated
As of
how
today.
many movies you watched last night because I'm weird like that. I'm like, how many movies does Josh have to watch every single day?
3.21.
And, yep, like it was about 3.5 when I looked the other day, and I go, you know what? He watches between 3 to 6 on a daily basis. So you'll get there pretty easily.
I submitted to the Guinness Book of World Records this year, actually, and they rejected my application.
You are joking.
I'm not.
How
I'm-
many
what's the
films
record
would you
at?
have to
Like,
watch?
It's just over 1,200. It's a woman who works for Hollywood Foreign Press. She lives in Puerto Rico. She beat this record in 2012, and they told me that they no longer accept that record. I think that they have a really difficult time of authenticating.
Yeah.
Who they'd have to... Which I don't think is fair, because I have a handwritten notebook that clearly each entry is in real time, and on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure if I were to call them to say, hey, I'm applying for this, they would pull timestamps for me.
Sure.
I would think. You know, those guys in New Zealand.
Or
seem
they
cool.
just send you a man from Guinness and he hangs out with you for a year.
That would be
And he just
amazing.
lives there.
Put a
I would
webcam
love
in
that.
your home that sees you
Yeah.
and sees
Him.
the screen and do it for a year.
It took 8 weeks to get a response from them, and it was really disappointing that they said that it was not...
It is disappointing because you actually beat you. You're
I
very
have
far.
beaten.
You smoked her.
Yeah, like I'm gonna do 1,500 this year, and I'm never doing it again.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of it's a public document of how fucking sad my life is.
Renee has 130.
Hot on your tail.
You're gonna
I don't really have a way to transition out of talking about how many movies we watched and logged on Letterboxd, but there is a part of this movie where there are dozens of naked old men running into a gigantic reindeer pen.
Yes. There
Yeah.
has been.
Yes.
So this is where I come in then, yes?
Yeah, I wanted
Right.
you to tell me about it.
Holy shit. Okay, so catching us up with the story, because we've kind of just been jumping around it, obviously. They've found the Santa Daddy in the hut, surrounded by radiators, with children in sacks that were taken from the other warehouse, which were just full of potatoes. And it's basically a warehouse full of,
Yeah, they took the sacks.
of operating radiators,
Left the
melting
potatoes.
a giant ice block with a Krampus-like giant Santa figure in it, melting it, surrounded by screaming, crying children who are in sacks. And then they make up this plan, or at least the child does. This is when the boy becomes a man.
Aww.
He shoots a gun. That's how you become a man, obviously. And then they decide they're gonna helicopter all of the children still in sacks as they're surrounded by all of the elven Santa horde that's surrounding the shack, let's say. And they helicopter all of the children to the reindeer pen because all the reindeers are dead as well.
So
Right?
it's like bait.
As bait. They're gonna bait the Santa horde, the Santa helper horde, towards this reindeer pen
Sacks of kids.
with
Which is
these
electrifying.
sacks of children.
Have to be suffocating by now.
Yeah, I love that
Yes.
when they discover the children who have been kidnapped and put in sacks, they don't free them immediately. Like, hold
No.
on, wait,
No.
what if we swing them around below a helicopter?
They put
in
the one kid
frigid
back-
north? Yes, they unwrap one kid
Yes.
and put him back. They're like, let's swing him around below
Also,
a helicopter
as
in the
we've-
frigid north.
As we figured out, though, is that they only have so many cast members, so they can't now start showing off other children. They have
Fair.
to show off the children we've already met. So obviously the other person's son.
Yeah.
And then they just put him back in a sack anyway.
Pretty
Or
nice.
if you want to save a little bit of money, trying to get some of your production crew's children in there and don't tell them what's going to happen.
They don't have to be children, you guys. They're in sacks. They can just be.
Yeah,
they
Small
can just be
sacks.
shorter
They can-
women. They don't even have like
They can
shorter
be- they
people.
can be
in
little
shorter-
Shorter
Is
women.
that where all the
Shorter
women
people
went?
women. Yeah.
That's- oh, right.
They might have
okay.
some dogs and other animals in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't put a
I mean,
dog
I'm all
in there.
about a sack
no.
full of dogs.
Come on, Renee. That's above
Oh.
the pale. Don't do that.
I mean, it was
Do
a
that
pretty
to a
small
dog.
budget. I mean, you didn't want to. It was like less than €2 million.
Well, you
Yeah.
can just collect dogs then from the store. I've seen White God. I know how that shit works.
Yeah, they're out there. They're
It's
free.
fun.
Yeah.
So the
Free
potato
dog.
sacks were full of dogs. Is that what you're saying?
In my movie,
Oh,
if I
okay.
were making it,
Okay.
that's how I would get around the
Well, it's like
Child labor
laws.
laws
Yeah.
is just dogs.
It's
like
also-
a bunch
it's
of
also
Yeah,
like-
it's PCA.
Dogs.
Yeah.
a bunch of
It's
dogs.
PCA.
Well, it's like Schrodinger's cat, though, isn't it?
Is
It's
it?
like-
It's not
Yeah.
dissimilar.
It's like say it's very similar to that.
We glossed over the kid firing off the gun. He's given that gun like 20, 30... Oh, he's given that gun like
It
20,
was a
30
que-
minutes into the movie. Very
was-
quickly, it's like, here's a firearm.
Yeah,
and he's
it
just
was a
carrying it around
question.
for the whole day.
Yeah, I mean, I thought just kids had guns out there, you know?
It's like
Yeah,
a
probably.
Yeah.
safety blanket.
I mean,
Sure.
you've got.
I mean, that
He's
is
carrying
like,
around,
yeah,
like,
that was the
toys.
equivalent to like rural Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. You're
It's
right.
not
Fair point. Fair point. Yeah.
8-years are
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah.
cute. He's got like toys that he carries around because he's a kid.
You
But
gotta,
And-
you
An
gotta
actual
fend
life
off.
firearm.
You gotta
Stuffy
fend
that he
off those
talks to.
attackers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like the stuffy on the.
Also, I
on
think
the
they've got.
leash.
I think they have polar bears up there. Do they not?
They have wolves.
They definitely have wolves.
True. I mean, they do have
Yeah.
dangerous creatures that are in. Either way, they give the fucking 10-year-old has a fucking double-barreled shotgun.
I will
That's
say I
it.
do love that, like a lot of like '80s horror movies and things. Like it's in some ways the kid's fault that this happens. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. I do enjoy that. Like it's like very like the kids being mischievous and like going
And
up
then
on the
lying
mountain
about it.
and then lying about it. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Speaking of putting down a dog,
Oh.
like I put that motherfucker in a sack and swing him around. I love that.
This is a Christmas party. Things get wild in a
Yeah, the
Christmas
dog's
party.
invited to the Christmas party now
Yeah.
after he was in jail,
Yeah.
and now he's causing all sorts of noise.
Yeah.
Please
Yes.
don't like me anymore. No.
Bruce.
Merry Christmas, Bruce.
I'm the only
So-
one that doesn't want you on me.
That's how it works.
Literally
Oh.
everyone else likes you. I like you, but I don't want to touch you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, how do you not like this dog?
Fine.
Where were we?
So you were talking about how there was, the kids are responsible.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, sorry. Yes. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's
they
it.
they sneak in, they see what's going on. Well, they think they are. They think they've because they made the hole in the fence. So the Santas, when the elves get out, that's part of how they get out, and they slaughter the reindeer, which
Right.
is like the dad's.
It's basically the gate of Finland.
Basically, yes,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
You know,
he
there's-
couldn't have gotten out any other way.
yeah. But yeah, the elves or Santas, whatever you call them, slaughter the entire reindeer herd. That was like the year's worth of like money and effort they were gonna put in.
85,000 each.
Yeah, exactly. So
I've had reindeer. Not worth it.
Wait, what?
Huh?
Wait, you've eaten a
Gamey.
reindeer?
Not an
Why?
entire one. That'd be weird.
Oh, I thought you owned one.
No,
I
I
thought you
said I ate
had a
one.
reindeer.
No, I
Oh.
ate one.
Oh.
Ate
Ate
some of part of a reindeer.
The jerky is better than. It's
That's
kind of gamey.
true.
I had a reindeer
Freaking
burger
matter.
once.
Really?
Yeah.
they're around.
It's not that different than bison, really.
It's
I haven't
it's
had that
quite-
You want to
either.
eat some alligator?
Fuck yeah, I do.
We can meet an alligator place in 30 minutes.
I have had alligator.
Yeah, it's chicken. This is like chicken.
You want to have an alligator eating contest?
Oh God.
No.
Nice.
God,
Well,
no.
while it's alive,
yeah, that is a contest.
I hope
that's
it. I hope it
underway.
eats you.
Who's starting at the
Roll.
front?
It's called a
starts
death
at the
roll.
front?
That would be something we need to get on video.
I will say I was on an airboat tour, and this is in the winter, I guess. And it's up on what was it, Lake Jessup or whatever. Anyway, the dude takes us and he pushes through the reeds real slowly, and he's like, well, maybe we'll catch him because this is mating season. And we pushed through the reeds. It was like a scene out of fucking Caligula.
Awesome.
It was a fucking orgy.
I love it.
In the eye's view, there were dozens and dozens. I asked him, how many? He's like, there's maybe 80, 100 out there. Just going at it. Just rolling and just in the fucking cattails and reeds. Just going at it. Just making little gator babies.
Like a
Wait,
Ken
so-
Russell movie.
Yeah, so
Hell yeah.
when gators
Yeah. They just
have
look,
intercourse, do they just kind of like flail around?
Yes,
or,
that's
like,
what it looked like from
it's
a
wrestling.
distance. It was just a lot of
they're
wrestling.
just
You ever
wrestling.
see two snakes? Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I've never seen any snakes fucking, but like I did
I got
play.
pictures.
I did
Whole
play.
album.
I did play a lot of Sims as a kid, and like it always
going?
like blurted out. But it's just like if you put in a cheat code, you could take away like the blurring,
Ooh.
and it just looked like tangles of bodies.
Are we
So
talking about people Sims or animals?
yeah, people Sims.
Oh, okay. Tangle. Okay.
Yeah, but that's
Huh,
how
artistic.
that's how like sex worked in my head. I was like, oh,
For
okay,
alligators, it's true.
that's
Well,
Man,
Sims
I have
is
so
Sims
many
is real
questions
life.
about this Sims thing. Wow,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
How could you
that
make
is
them
so
have
much
sex?
weirder than sneaking like Cinemax after hours. That is
I've
fucking
got a-
weird.
I also killed them, so it's fine.
I also have a weird
I get
story
that.
about The Sims that I remember from high school.
Okay.
And it wasn't directly to me. A friend of mine was the only one that I remember when we were younger who had a PC and he played The Sims. And he did an elaborate comic based on his experience with this one set of Sims that he had in this house, which effectively resorted to putting Sims into a room, removing the door, setting the room on fire, and then continuing to do that over and over and over again. But I remember there was this one line where it was like the confusion of Richard, and that he's just there with his hands on his head, just like, where's the door? But obviously the room inside is ablaze, and there's a few people in there. But I always remember that, the confusion of Richard.
When did your friend graduate to putting cigarettes out on cats? Like that kind of.
No, listen, I also I would create like purposefully like huge families and then like create a graveyard and if they die in the house, they come and haunt you. But I made sure like nobody mourned anybody.
Whoa.
I never did.
I have
any of this.
I have some
I'm
issues.
adulterous. Like,
But I
never
worked them
played
all
it.
out. I worked all of my issues out on The Sims.
I was gonna say, is it peek inside Katie's psyche?
I don't need any therapy.
clearly, well adjusted. You're doing great. Just awesome.
Wow.
The confusion of Richard.
This has gotten really off track.
So speaking of fire, I think there was Fired Richard, confusion of Richard.
Yeah.
So they end up successfully being able to, we believe, explode the Santa, which I do think,
There's a
Santa Daddy,
Yeah.
which I do think could be a problem, which is where the sequel could come in, because he was in ice,
Yeah.
and then you blow it up, so to speak, but then that would just essentially melt the ice that he's encased in.
It seems.
That doesn't come to
yeah.
that. It doesn't
Pretty
come to
finale.
that.
Seemed pretty final. That building goes boom in a huge.
Yeah, but
It
it
was a lot
doesn't
of-
seem.
and-
Yeah, it doesn't
and
seem
the-
particularly
The
believable.
baby
but-
Santas are no longer under his
Great
control.
point, yeah.
Oh, that is true.
It's
Yeah.
like Dracula.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot in this movie that sort of like assumes you're making some connections. The movie
Right.
does not spell a lot out. That's one example.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like they just like assume you're gonna keep up and make some.
That's fair.
And no like bad or wrong about it. Like it's nice they don't over explain it, but it does imagine you are maybe an adult with like a good knowledge of like you've seen some stories before. You know what I mean?
It would be awesome if it was like the blood of Dracula and they like gathered the bones of Dracula to resurrect him from the grave.
So they get the Santa. So they get the elves
Yeah.
of the Santas trapped in the pen, which is electrified, by the way. We saw them electrify it earlier in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
switches it
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kid
the little
switches it
boy
on.
switches it on. The
So
boy has
sorry.
now become a man.
Yes.
Now
Yeah.
you have a bunch of naked Santa elves.
They're running towards camera in slow motion.
What are you gonna do with them all?
What would be the first thing you think of to
Human
do.
trafficking is the answer. Human trafficking.
That is what I wrote.
Did
They,
you really?
they wrote that they start a supernatural human trafficking business,
That is kind of. I mean, that really is what happened.
which is
It's not wrong.
because
Yeah.
I wonder, do they have to eat? I know they've been trapped in ice, encased under for however long they've been trapped under there in this quote unquote burial mound. So they are supernatural creatures. So I assume that they don't need sustenance. So maybe it does make it a good business decision.
Well, that said, though, the whole reason we're here is because they very obviously have genitals.
Yes.
And maybe they're just for fucking, but I would imagine they're also for excreting.
that is true.
And
That is
so
a very
I
good
don't know
point.
if they have
They do-
assholes,
he-
but they probably do.
He does. They do seem tempted by gingerbread cookies. He does
Yeah,
eat a
they feed
gingerbread
them the
cookie.
Oh,
gingerbread
that's
He
cookies.
does
Oh,
eat that
right.
gingerbread
And I
cookie.
Maybe
assume
milk
they
and
ate those
cookies.
reindeer. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, they slaughtered those reindeer.
But they
yeah,
didn't.
but they didn't eat them.
No, they were
But
still
This
pretty.
messed them up.
You sure? They looked like they were like.
Maybe they're just,
carcasses.
You think?
Yeah,
They
I mean, you never
just
get a
like
close up.
ripped out the
Like, why
meat.
would they kill them if they weren't not to eat them? I mean, I guess
Be
just
menacing?
to be menacing, but yeah.
I mean, that would fucking scare me.
Yeah.
If I saw somebody was able to tear apart a reindeer for fun, I'd get the fuck out of there.
It was like 50. It was like 50
Yeah,
reindeer.
exactly.
Yeah.
Also, reindeer are notoriously mean.
Yeah.
So they could have been trying to attack them.
We have seen Jingle All the Way, so
Reindeer,
we have.
reindeer are pretty fierce.
Which you can buy for $4.99 at Best Buy right now. I know this.
worth every penny.
Well, I'm going on the map.
Wow.
Put the cookie down.
Put the booger down.
Favorite Christmas movie. Okay, so yeah, we've got whatever. We have a herd of little elves, naked elves, and yeah, we start a human trafficking business.
I
So we
get it.
clean them up.
Yeah, they scrub them. They scrub
them
'em.
down.
Yeah.
That's the final penis scene is where you
Yeah.
you get them all in the
Yeah.
shower. It's like a prison.
We clean
Very
them up.
Schindler's List-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Ooh.
yeah.
You scrub them down with
Yeah.
brushes and mops
Yeah.
and clean them up and teach them how to love again.
I mean, not the full shower treatment from Schindler's List, obviously.
I think,
That's no ending.
I think teach them how to love, period, because they have been stuck in ice.
Yeah, they've never loved
Yeah, I
They've
think
only
they
ever
were
loved-
just...
Santa Daddy.
Yeah, Santa Daddy was their brain, and now they don't know what to do.
I mean, they don't specify what they're trafficking them for.
Although, like, weren't
No,
they...
they're trafficking them to be Santas.
That again, we're assuming a lot. Did they
Yeah.
explicitly say
Fair.
that?
I don't know. They're,
Wait.
it's pretty obvious.
I have
think-
I have a question, because, like, when they find the guy, he has, like, a wallet on him, doesn't he?
He stole that American's clothes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah, he's.
I was like, are these guys that have been bewitched and, like, they're...
Ooh.
But no, he had just stolen the American stuff.
Yeah, I like in that part, like, when they find his wallet and there's that thing, and they're like, he's 56. I'm like, that man is obviously not 56.
That guy has lived a life.
Have you seen his pubes?
No, exactly. That's why, because he's so old. 56-year-old would have pretty hefty pubes.
Let me tell you.
I've seen some
Let's fall
50-year-old,
backwards.
56-year-old pubes. Yeah, but yeah, they train him to, I guess, be like mall Santas. Like that's
Yeah.
the idea of having the
Yeah.
big stuffed kid. Ooh, that reminds me.
Yeah.
One of like the low key like things that just they gloss over that I love is like that weird stick child effigy that they find in the beds.
Yeah,
Like I really enjoy
Yeah.
that little touch. They don't focus on it, but like I thought this was like one of those little creepy elements. They
It was
worked in,
very-
like the weird kid.
It's
effigies.
like a child made of straw, isn't
yeah,
it?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like some Wicker Man shit.
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
I liked that.
I love when they see when the original kid, our main kid, sees that in his friend's bed, brings it downstairs and shows his father. He goes, "They've taken him. Your son is gone." He goes, "He'll be back later." And he keeps bringing it up. He's like, "Your son is still gone." He's like, "It's fine."
Yeah.
Like, not worried about it at all. Like, no one is worried about their kids missing. There's just one kid left, and he's the one, like, leading this army to, like, take care of these.
To be fair, that small child is heavily armed.
To be fair, and also they're kind of grown up on the preface that any time a mythical creature could just snatch them up and take them away if they were being a bastard.
And every one of those kids was a piece of shit. So
All
it's
of
saying something.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Bad
so,
boys.
So they deserve to be swung around below the helicopter in the freezing cold and used as
Pretty
bait
much.
is the point.
yes.
They're not going to do
It
that
is-
shit again.
No.
It is a jarring moment, certainly when the child is hanging off, like holding on to the undercarriage as it's soaring through the air. It's a jarring moment to watch.
Do you think the Santas would only come after them if they were bad?
Yes.
I think
'Cause
that's part of the lore. That's part of the history. Yeah.
That's my take too. I was just curious because he comes in when they've got the first Santa in there.
The
remember,
only
he comes
thing-
in to be like, spank
Yeah.
me. You have to
Yeah, punish me for being...
punish me for being because he
Yeah.
wants what's the Catholic word for it?
Penance?
Yeah, he wants like penance for that, so he won't be.
What's
the only
Catholic
consistent
word?
thing in
You
the
look at
lore
Josh.
is
Josh
other
isn't
bad. It doesn't
Catholic.
only go
No,
after
but
bad
he would
children.
know more than me.
Yeah,
Anyway,
because they can
that's
sniff
much
them out.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, they're just smelling out the bad kids. So
That's
anyway,
something that could have made the film better, is if there would have been one good kid to establish that they didn't give a fuck about that one.
or maybe a woman's perspective, since obviously there's no women in the film either.
No,
No?
I think that our
I think
main
it's fine.
character kid
I
is
feel like I'm
supposed to be
backpedaling.
backpedaling.
be
Like I'm
worse,
trying
but
to
it
I'm
clearly
trying to
doesn't
like
matter.
help myself from all the Black Pete stuff.
Well, the main kid is he's a
he's a-
decently good kid, but I don't know, you might be right. Maybe it's just all children. They gotta eat the kids.
Or take him to Santa Daddy
Yeah.
for final judgment.
Take him to Santa Daddy.
That's true.
Yeah, that's my gut as to what was happening. They were there as an offering for when he woke up from the ice.
I am curious, like, does this director not have women in his other movies?
Good question. Yeah.
I mean, not when the kid and Sam Jackson are getting top billing on the other film that he made. So probably not.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I hope the mic is picking up the dog.
Yeah.
He's
the
picking-
dog
yeah,
is
it's
making
picking
so
up
much noise.
every-
Dog
Everything.
is
This
going
is a-
to
Yeah.
town on my hands
Oh,
right
that's
now.
so
This
gross.
is a-
Just can't get enough.
This Christmas
Like,
party is
Yeah.
failure.
It's visible.
Like, this is...
There's always a dog-like creature at a Christmas party trying to lick everybody.
Oh,
We
he's
all
coming
know
for
this.
me now. He's
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
Okay, yeah.
Trying to wrap
Let's
this
get
up,
him
dude.
out of here.
Yeah, trying to
Crying
wrap
out
this
loud. So this film actually did win quite a few awards. Best motion picture, cinematography, and director, and special mention for best European motion picture at Switzerland's Locarno International Film Festival. And, a few other things. They won a lot of things. They did a good job, and everyone liked it.
It's a good looking movie, honestly.
It does
The
look
cinematography's
very
great.
good.
It's a really good looking movie.
It does look very good, and it's fun. And I do also, as we were saying before, kind of appreciate the alternative Christmas film, as a switch up from our Home Alones and
Our Wonderful Lives.
Scrooged.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, those are all good. I don't know.
Well,
Scrooged
thing
is
is,
so good.
thing is, Scrooged is an alternative Christmas
That's true.
movie
Okay,
as well.
I don't know. It's
so-
the first one that came to. I'm thinking about the ones that I like to
I don't know,
watch.
fucking Christmas Story. I mean, there's not anything more Christmassy than Christmas Story, or The Santa Claus, or Santa Claus the movie, the one with
Oh.
fucking Dudley Moore.
That's terrible.
It's a
Fucking
fucking
love
shitty
that
thing.
movie. It is awful.
The fucking
Terrible.
crack
It's like-
laced like
Oh my god! I
like
watched it as an
candy
adult and I was
canes.
like, "This is."
I
Wait,
have
which-
watched
John Lithgow?
as an adult.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's
You
John
Which
realize-
movie
Lithgow.
are you talking about?
The Santa, not
Santa Claus the
Santa
movie.
Claus
The
with
movie.
Dudley Moore. Yes. I loved that when I was a kid. I would watch it on repeat. It is.
I've watched it every year. It's always been on TV at like 10 o'clock in the
Really?
morning. Yeah,
I feel like
it's
it
always
was
on
when I was a
TV.
kid, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean,
wow.
I can't remember who plays Santa. Cannot remember for the life of me who plays Santa in that movie. But I remember
neither
Dudley
can I.
Moore being in that fucking movie.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big Arthur fan as a kid too.
Oh, okay.
Sense.
Jesus Christ, a lot to unpack in that.
So we're gonna go around the table and we're gonna do ratings, and I have a couple questions for you guys after we do this. But I'm gonna start with myself because I feel like it, and we're gonna go and do. We're gonna rate the film on visibility and context. 5 being the most visibility, the best context. 0 obviously being the worst, and then we're gonna do the same thing for the film. 0 out of 5, and so for me, I'm giving the context 5. And the visibility 5, there's so much, you can see it, there's tons. I mean, there's not really any disputing that, so if anyone says less than 5, I'm going to have questions for you. And I don't even know what else to say about the context, because it's, there's like these dudes encased in ice, these supernatural Santa elf dudes, and I mean, how else are you going to put that together? I really don't know. And I gave the film a 4.
Okay.
Because I like it. And it's different and it's short. So
Excellent.
we're gonna go to Renee.
Okay. Well, I think I was told I should give it a 5 for the penis context because
If
you
you'd
just
like.
said that.
If
I
you'd
don't
like.
know. I don't really.
Also,
I
don't feel bullied, Renee.
I don't really.
I am a big bully.
She is the biggest
think
bully
about
here.
or rate penis, but like you can see it. I like how he's like hunched over for a while, like the first dick reveal, or like it's the first one I remember
Yeah.
when he's in the room. Okay, and it's like I was waiting for it, and then he really gave it to you. So I like. You know what I mean? He unraveled himself.
There's even a moment where he's crouching down
Yeah.
where I think you can see it
Probably, but I
Because
felt
it's
like
kind of, they're old and,
Yeah.
things
I was like,
hang a
is that
different-
it, or is that just some extra skin? And then no, it was it. And then I gave it a 3.5. I like it. It's fun. I watched it a few times, so I enjoyed it. And 3.5 is good for me.
That's a pretty good rating for
Yeah.
you, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
This is Katie. I give it 5 for all of the things.
Oh, great.
Yeah, 5 stars for penis, site, context, whatever those ratings are.
Perfect.
I guess overall I would do 4.5. I'm not
Okay.
gonna give it a 5 because I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I think I give it a 4. I think on Letterboxd I gave it a 3.5. It just depends on my mood, how I want to swing. But it's definitely fun to watch with other people as well. Like if you have it in that context, like if you're watching it at the cinema and stuff, it makes it a little bit more exciting than watching it just chilling at home.
Yeah, like when I'm watching it at the Enzian with like a crowd and like there's people there that haven't seen it before and it's just that's a different experience than watching it by yourself. But I don't think I've shown this to my parents yet, so I should do that because
Keith is gonna love it.
that would be funny. I remember, quick segue, I showed my parents Nocturnal Animals, and I forgot that
The opening scene.
the opening scene.
It is a good movie. I agree.
Didn't expect a Tom Ford shout out in this episode.
I'm full of surprises, Josh.
Yeah.
Okay, Ty, I'm ready.
So visibility and context, I'm gonna go 4.5.
Okay.
I'm dinging it only because it's like there's a lot. Sheer volume, I would give it a 5. There's a lot of dicks in this movie, and I
Yes.
salute that. But there's a lot beyond the scene, like in the butcher house with the first one. It's largely dark, and there's a lot of heavy shadow, and they're kind of hunched and running. So there's like you're seeing the dicks, but the visibility could be better. Like it makes sense in the movie, but if we're all things being equal, you could see more of those dicks. You know.
The
So-
shower scene, you can see quite a bit of them.
You do, but everything after that. So that's the
That's
thing.
true.
Volume,
You're not wrong.
a lot of dicks. Love it. But, I'm dinging it 0.5 point.
Got it.
The movie, I'm going 4. It's very enjoyable. Love an annual viewing. Solid. Knows what it wants to do. Gets in, gets out. Doesn't waste your time. 83 minutes. Love it.
Wonderful. Okay, Josh.
I'm actually gonna go a little bit lower for content and visibility. Context and
Ooh.
visibility. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
And I think that it's just going to build on what you said. I think that they do quantity over quality. They could have thrown in some close-ups.
Agreed.
You know? And I do think that I have seen it annually. I see it in theater, and last year watching it on small screen for the first time, when there's a lot on screen, it's hard to make out what's going on, I think, unless
Yeah.
you're really looking. And it's not easy. I feel like if you can't passively watch it and know that the penises are there, it can't be a 5.
Okay.
Fair point.
But I will say as well, on a scale of 0 to 5, I give it a 4. Just overall, it's a staple of Christmas movies now for me. I watch it every year. It's not as good as Gremlins, but few things are.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, that's where I land on it. Enjoyable, good rewatch value. Solid flick.
Okay, Ryan.
Right. So in terms of like the context, the visibility, I have no issue with the visibility. So I guess like that would be somewhere around the kind of 4 or 5 mark. I start to question the context as to why, like, one, what are these helpers meant to be representing? Why do they look like Santa Claus? Are they basically kind of minions that are reflective of their master and what that master is meant to look like? And I kind of have to wonder, like, well, why do they all have dicks? They're kind of meant to be these mystical creatures. Now, I don't have an issue with them actually being kind of humanoid and kind of having genitals and all this sort of thing. And I can only just assume that maybe they were clothed at some point. And obviously, due to the process of time being frozen, that those clothes are rotted away and they have zero issue with just running around in the nutty. But I guess it's a choice. And it kind of works out. I do kind of question it a little bit, but at the same time, I don't kind of fawn over this film maybe as much as some people do. I kind of only gave it a 3, but for at least the most part, I mean, it's entertaining, it's funny, I'm never bored by it, and it is incredibly respectful of your time. And there is far worse things you can do with 80-something minutes of your time than watch this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I delve in a little bit deeper. But I mean, it's what it is.
Well, I think in terms of, the context and how these are supernatural type of beings and, whether they were clothed or not, what they represent
I'm assuming
and why they have penises are all valid questions, and I'm happy to leave that open, just to have it as it is.
Will someone listen to this and tell us there's a reason why? But I mean, I guess I don't really need to know a reason why. I ask the question. No one does.
Do you think that in their theology, maybe there wasn't Eve didn't eat the apple, and so they are just nude?
Oh.
I mean, there is no women there. Yeah, I mean that doesn't.
Maybe
make
there
sense.
wasn't even an Eve to fuck things up.
Shit.
Just saying. Just spitballing here.
Wow, this film just turned into an onion, baby. We're peeling back the layers on this thing.
Bringing the misogyny. Thanks, Josh.
No problem. Anytime.
Wow. Well, as we're wrapping this up, is there anything you guys wanted to bring up before? I wanted to ask you guys a question before we jumped out of this Christmas party. But is there anything else that was like kind of on your mind in
before
particular?
we close the doors and we're like, look, yeah, the party's over.
Was there a part that you really liked that you wanted to bring up, Renee?
We didn't talk about the rules, like how to behave in front of Santa. That the entrepreneur, whoever that guy wanted the remains dug up, he gave them rules of conduct. It was
yeah, he does.
Yeah. No smoking, no cursing, no heavy drinking, no your mama jokes. I can't remember if there are any others, but those were all in there. And that was actually also a part of the short too, to not piss off Santa. Yeah, but if you in the short, it also was like, don't be loud.
Yeah.
but
be a good boy.
Be a good boy.
Be
and
a
that's
good boy or girl.
And I think that's where things started to go wrong, because there were cigarettes on the ground.
Oh.
Yeah, and they found like an empty bottle
yeah.
of vodka or something like they were drinking. I think it's very subtle, but you're right. Yeah, they allude to the fact that the miners or whatever the archaeologists digging them up were bad boys.
They were bad boys, and if
Typically
I was there, I would have followed those rules.
You are a
Archaeologists
habitual rule follower?
never follow the rules, and that's why we get into bother. So, I wanted to ask you guys if there is one Christmas movie, and it could be Rare Exports, that you have to. I know there's probably a ton that's on your kind of Christmas watch list, but if there's one that you will be furious that you miss in a year, that you have to watch, what would it be? We can go the other way, so we can start with Ryan. If there's just your number one.
Muppets Christmas Carol.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to see
Solid.
it every year. It's a great movie.
You
it's not
added
even
it,
just a good Christmas movie, it's a great movie.
You added it to kind of our typical watch list, because I never really watched
It's a
film
film I've watched consistently since I was 6 or 7 years old. So
great one.
it's just a great movie.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, the best of the best.
Okay, Josh.
Batman Returns.
Yeah.
That's it for me. Batman
takes.
Returns is the movie that I have to watch every year, and I'm still very irritated that nobody's hired me to show it anywhere.
Oh,
At Christmas time, I beg my clients and nobody. They do not agree with me.
Okay.
I love that movie. I had one of my oldest friends, if you ask him to do his Christopher Walken impersonation, he immediately goes, Santa Claus? Afraid not. And I love it. I love that that's his go-to Walken.
Yes.
I love it so much. Mine is with no question Gremlins. I mean, Gremlins is maybe maybe my favorite movie of all time. I don't know. It's got everything. It's horror. It's comedy. It's got good performances, great sets. Great effects. I mean, it's a classic for a reason. It's a great movie any time of the year, but it is also decidedly a Christmas movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, Katie.
So Muppets Christmas Carol is up there for me, but as of late, the last few years, it's been White Christmas. Because it just puts me in a nice mood. It's a very white people thing to say, but I do like that movie.
You want to come over and watch Holiday Inn and see if you like that more?
No, I don't. But thank you.
I mean, that's just 2 movies of people just singing around a piano, right? I mean, that's basically what that is.
Holiday Inn is the first time White Christmas appeared in a movie sung, but that also has blackface in an entire sequence.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip the Holiday Inn.
And it's really worth listening to the audio commentary where there's a film historian who doesn't seem to have a problem with it. It's really uncomfortable.
Wow.
Yeah. But then we found that out at that what was that Danny Elfman movie that we saw at the Enzian that other time, where it was like
Forbidden Zone.
Richard where they changed the people to clowns as opposed to having blackface, and the guy that we spoke to afterwards seemed to be protesting that it was clowns and not blackface.
He absolutely
He was
was.
upset about it.
Yeah. He's like,
Cool,
okay.
guy. Whatever.
Yeah,
Like, if Ted Turner did it, that's probably kind of fucked up and weird, but the director made a choice that, hey, we thought we were being edgy. We were being fucking bigoted. So I think that is okay. You can adapt your own work to the times. Jesus.
I don't really have an answer for this. I'm just happy to watch Christmas movies, but I think I've gotten to the ritual of Gremlins with Tighe and Die Hard, which I do believe is a Christmas movie.
Fuck yes.
There's many Christmas songs in it. It's a Christmas party, and
Ho, ho, ho.
and the sweater, yeah. But truly, my real answer is a YouTube supercut of all the Harry Potter Christmas scenes.
I can confirm. That's true.
That sounds like an endurance test.
Oh, jeez.
It's not that long.
Wow.
It's basically just a bunch
love
of
it.
kids saying Happy Christmas over and over again.
And they decorate the tree. And
Happy Christmas, Harry.
Exactly.
Happy Christmas, Ron.
Oh, God, those movies. Fucking movies.
We all said different things, which I love very much. I also You said Die Hard. Obviously, I watch Die Hard every year. I love Die Hard, and it's something that I always watch on Christmas Day. But I never ever miss Jingle All the Way. I never miss it.
It's a solid one. It's great. It is a great film.
I'll take any excuse to watch Arnold, and you put him in a Christmas movie.
It's one of the last, I feel, of the mean-spirited 90s family movies. Like, it's really cruel in a lot of ways. And, like, Phil Hartman is like this, fucking all the moms in town. Like, it's really, but it's PG. It's really pretty great for what it is.
You were right about that, yeah. It is the last of the good, mean-spirited studio.
Yeah, I was watching Home Alone 2 the other night, and I had to jot down this quote because it did really strike me that this was a time and place, man. No, Joe Pesci says to Macaulay Culkin, "I've got a gun in my pocket, you open your mouth and you'll be spitting gum out through your forehead." That's something an adult says to a child in a PG family Christmas movie, and I love it. That would not happen anymore.
No, that's true.
Good old days.
Didn't even get it a PG-13.
Home Alone 2.
That's wild.
Home Alone 2 is up there for me as well. I just like saying 2 turtle doves.
I mean, if I were that homeless lady, I would not be happy with that little kid.
No, that's the toy store guy.
I know the toy store guy says it, but he gives the turtle doves to the pigeon lady.
Yeah.
Brenda
Not a
Fricker.
good, not a
It's
good gift.
not food or...
Yeah.
Not a good gift.
Yeah,
They're
good
staying
point.
at the plaza.
And
Not a
that
good gift.
motherfucker spent a lot of money on some stupid shit that he could have given to the poor Brenda
Fair point.
Fricker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that kind of counter. It was like that YouTube video where they counted how many times they would have actually died
Yeah.
based on his pranks
yeah,
and his traps that he set for them. And I find that very amusing. And he'll describe like how they would have died, like from whatever, like brain injury or from burning and suffocating, stuff like that.
Did you see is it the same where he recreates them?
Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
There's like a 15 or 20 minute video where a guy recreates them with anatomically correct, like, mannequins, essentially. So, like, the paint cans would crush their skull, and it shows it. It's pretty wild.
Okay, well, we're going to watch that later tonight.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, that's the thing. He has access to a phone the entire time. I'm not the only person to have said this, because I think I'm paraphrasing from someone on Twitter, but he has access to a phone
The phones
entire
did go out.
time.
Yeah, but he's walking to the grocery store. He could have gotten taken care of.
For a while, he was pretty happy, because he did think that he did wish them away.
Yeah, exactly.
So he was pretty fucking stoked to have all those assholes out of the
also,
house for a while.
The phones might have been out, but he does eventually call the police at the end of the movie.
Yeah, after he's close to murdered these men.
Yeah.
Which also, Joe Pesci's funny in it, but Daniel Stern is like Buster Keaton level physical comedy in those movies.
Yeah.
100%.
In the second one, when he's getting those bricks thrown in his face,
Yes.
I
Oh
still
my
like
God.
full body laugh at that, like a very, very stupid child. And I love it. I still love it.
Yeah, they're really great. Well, goodness gracious. Thank you guys so much for all coming together and dealing with the dog who's still making noise and joining us. And this is our 40th episode.
I think the dog needs to poop, because it smells like farts in here.
It's probably, yeah. It's either him or one of us, guys. I don't know who's going to own up to
It could just
it.
be all of us.
We're all just
A lot of bodies doing some gross things.
Thank God
here.
the dog's in here, eh?
someone to blame.
Yeah.
So yeah, our 40th episode, and thanks for coming around and having fun with us and talking about rare exports a little bit, and then lots of other things for the most part, which is fun. So, Christmas penises,
Thank you for having us.
one and all.
Yay.
Santa Daddy.
Episode 40, A Christmas Tale.
Yes.
So, yeah, happy holidays and all that stuff. Coming to you from this cursed archaeological dig in Finland. I've been Laura.
Norway.
We already talked about this.
Oh, okay. Right.
We already talked about this. Where is that hill? Okay. Anyway, Ryan's here. Josh is here. Ty is here. Katie's here. Renee's here. We're all here. And thank you guys. So we'll see you next year.
See you next
Bye.
year.
That's the end?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right.
Let's talk about some dicks.